Big time,
It is interesting.
like Faith Hill, before she became Mrs. Faith Hill, and before she sold 30 million records and was making $1 million a night singing in concerts. She sold T-shirts at Fanfare. That was her first job in Nashville.
T-shirts for other artists?
For anybody.
Yeah,
Fanfare.
Yeah, the big thing that they have in Nashville every year.
She ran a concession stand.
Oh, okay.
And then she got a job met somebody there and got a job as a receptionist at a music publishing company. And then got a job working for Reba McEntire, packing up fan merchandise to mail out.
Now, was her intent in moving to Nashville to be a star? She knew she had some chops.
Yeah. That was pretty
and
much
that's just
it.
the things that you do.
When you get there to pay the rent and eat and put gas in the car.
I think it was Alan Jackson that started in the mailroom of the Nashville network.
Yeah, sure was.
That's what he did when he first went to Nashville.
And so did
Noonan, Georgia.
So did Dirk Bentley.
And that might be who I'm thinking about, Dirk Bentley.
He used to grab the videos.
George Clooney. When he first started out, he cut tobacco $3 an hour. That is home.
George Clooney, the actor.
Yeah, he's from Kentucky. He's a hillbilly by birth.
He cut tobacco?
$3 an hour. Well, everybody in Kentucky and East Tennessee and Western North Carolina cut tobacco at some point. I used to cut tobacco.
Did you?
And I didn't get paid for it. I just got fed. They'd cook us, a great meal when we finished the day. But,
Is that like a long day, like picking cotton?
Jeez, yeah. That's
you got bending over work?
That's some of the two worst jobs I ever had were, I think, pull knife on a tobacco and throwing hay, putting up hay.
That wasn't as bad as scraping animals off the highway.
No, I don't think so. Because you can start putting that tobacco up in the top of the barn.
Yeah.
And you're in the rafters, and you're standing there, and you're literally you're up there. You climb up in the rafters, and you're just standing there on these beams, and the guy below you is handing up a stake about that long. That's just been where they take the stalk of the tobacco and push it down over the spear, and they just load this thing up with all these tobacco leaves. And the guy below you hands it up to the guy above him, and he hands it up to the guy up in top, and then he puts it over the two rails in the top of the barn, and then you just do that all day. You're passing it up.
You have done everything.
It's hot, nasty, thankless work. Nasty work. $3 an hour is good money for that.
It's not like he came from humble beginnings or whatever. His aunt was Rosemary Clooney.
Well, but she wasn't. She didn't raise him. He said he worked in the stock room at department stores around town, whatever he could do. And then when he got to Hollywood, he did house construction, cleaned a theater to pay for acting classes, and did odds and ends for his aunt. Mm-hmm. That's what he did to pay for acting lessons.
George Clooney,
who gave $1 million to Hope for Haiti Now the other night.
Yeah,
I hung up on him one time.
Did
I
you?
I didn't know it was him that was calling the station.
You thought somebody was jerking you around?
I thought so. I hung up on him twice.
Yeah.
It was an interview that was set up by the person that was coming on after me, and I really thought this was just some caller messing with me. Mm-hmm. And then he walks in the room and he goes, "Hey, I'm expecting a call from George Clooney."
Oh, man.
I'm like, well, I just hung up on him twice.
So I don't think he'll call you back.
I doubt it.
And Denzel Washington said his first job, he started working when he was 11 in a neighborhood barber shop, and his job was to brush off the collars. With that little brush and the talcum powder at the end. They'd pay him $11. Or pay him, what was it, $1? No, the salary was $11 a week to stand there, and when the guy would get finished, he would brush off the collars. And he said if he did a good job, he could get tips and turn into $50 a week.
Wow.
Man.
He's making better than that now.
Yeah.
Okay, so very, very, very first job you ever had, very first one that you got paid for.
That I got paid for was washing dishes after school when I was 12 years old at a local restaurant. I worked 4 nights a week washing dishes, 4 hours a night.
At 12?
At 12.
Wow.
And I was making, $2.10 an hour, something like that.
Wow.
Big money.
My first job was washing windows at a gas station on cars, 50 cents an hour, 1964. How about you?
I didn't know cars had windshields back then.
In 64?
Yeah.
I'm not saying 1864.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
They even had motors back then.
Rick's first job, I don't think he's ever worked for money.
No, I did.
He makes money, but I'm not sure he's ever actually worked for it.
I was 13 years old, and Williams Tire moved from Sproul Avenue to their location on Dorchester Road, and me and my buddy Lamont helped them move that whole building.
You big dummy.
Me and Lamont Robinson, we moved that whole building with one other guy to their location on Dorchester Road. Now, that was just a weekend job. My first real job where I got a check that was made out to me was working in radio at the age of 14.
That's when he was taking out the trash and wearing the Willie suit, throwing up in it. That's right. I remember. It's 7:54, so everybody's got to start somewhere.
That's right.
7:54 at WEZL.
Use your Food Lion